Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Copper Dragons here, and I'm going to be playing some more KNACK 2. So let's hop right in and continue the game. But in all honesty, my take on that whole Jack Doherty stuff that happened recently, with that one girl breaking up with him or whatever. Um, sure, I know for a fact, Jack Doherty is a scumbag, and he's a proven scumbag. And trust me, I agree with that part. But the part that I do not agree with was those allegations that one chick made on him. I do not believe that for a single second. Mostly because of the people involved with spreading that allegation. And hint on who they are and why I don't trust them. They are known to be one of the least trustworthy sources ever, and work with a person with an infamous Spider-Man video. If that doesn't scream that they're incredibly untrustworthy, judging by, everything that they've ever said to try and defend themselves, on top of the people that they work with, yeah, that makes that whole part of that situation incredibly hard to believe. I'm not saying it couldn't have happened, but I'm just saying, with that aspect in mind, it is really hard to believe that entire allegation, judging by the people involved, who are known liars, who have publicly lied to save their own skin on multiple occasions, including one time involving a minor. If that doesn't scream that they're an incredibly untrustworthy source for anything, and I mean anything, then what would? I mean, come on, they have been proven time and time again that they are unreliable sources for everything. And yet somehow people are going with the narrative that he's an abuser with no proof provided. I get it. Jack is a scumbag. But they literally provided no proof to any of those claims. I don't care if Jack's a known scumbag. They still need proof that he did something like that. I don't care if he's a known scumbag. They still need evidence, regardless. I don't care. They still need evidence on said abuse happening. If it's that such of a public matter, if they can't provide any sort of proof, I ain't gonna believe it. And that proof has to be easily backed up too. Not just something that, just shows chat logs that could easily be faked. Honestly. Just provide something. I get it. Jack Doherty is a known scumbag. But I ain't gonna believe an allegation to that caliber. I don't care who you are. I ain't gonna believe an allegation to that caliber and that magnitude without some kind of evidence provided. I don't care who you are. And the fact so many people are running with those kinds of allegations without anything besides word of mouth being provided on what happened, that just makes it incredibly hard to believe. Look at that. I know this is different from this situation, but look at that Wilbur Soot thing. That was basically just trust me, bro type situation. That was literally how that entire thing could be described, and yet everybody believed that crap whenever it was just a just trust me, bro situation. They literally, Shovel and everybody else are involved with that situation, literally provided zero proof and zero evidence to back up that claim. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just saying, at least have the knowledge to provide proof if you're going to make that big of a claim. Like, that is just basic knowledge at that point. I don't care if it's some internet drama, you still need to provide proof. Like, it doesn't matter, you still need to provide proof. And that's why I won't believe that kind of crap so easily. Because there are so many allegations happening anymore that are easily fake, that are fake.
But do not underestimate their creature.
And people just go with it for no reason. And I'm just sick and tired of all these false allegations being made on people. Sure, they could have happened. But usually they never provide any sort of proof. I don't care if it's some internet drama. You need to provide proof to make your claim valid. I don't care. But yeah, that's my entire take on that, entire situation there. Like, at least provide proof if you're going to make a claim that big. I don't care who you are or who is involved. You still need to provide proof regardless. Like, it shouldn't change anything, regardless of their, regardless of who it is. It doesn't change the fact that you need to provide proof. Like, I don't care who you are or what you're known for. You still need to provide proof on that person doing such a thing. Like, that is basic human knowledge at this point. And the sad fact is, people are too stupid to even provide any sort of proof. Like that's not supposed to be a direct jab on them, but I'm just saying, if you can't provide proof, then I'm gonna instantly say that entire claim is invalid. That is all I gotta say on that. If you can't provide something as simple as proof, your entire claim is invalid, or should be considered invalid. I don't care who you are or what you're involved with, your entire claim is invalid if you can't provide proof on an allegation. Like, that is just basic human knowledge at this point. And the sad fact is, people don't even do that anymore. Like, I get it. Jack is a massive scumbag and he should have been banned off the internet a long time ago for a multitude of reasons, but at least provide proof if you want your claims to actually, be viable. And also, should we really instantly take the word of somebody who sells their body on the internet willingly? Should we instantly be taking their side just because they happen to be female? That is, and the sad fact is, people tend to do that all the time anymore. Just because someone happens to be female, or someone just so happens to not be white, or someone just so happens to, not be straight, their entire claim is instantly accepted as the truth, even if they don't provide any sort of proof on anything that they're claiming even happened. Like, I don't mean that in any sort of negative way, I'm just saying, that is more on the people believing that crap than what it is the actual person. I'm just saying, that is more on the people believing that crap than what it is the people actually saying it, than the people actually alleging that stuff. If you can't provide proof, that should automatically mean that your entire claim is baseless and should be thrown out and not believed as easily if you can't even provide something as basic as proof. Other than just, something as simple as word of mouth. Because word of mouth can easily be staged or falsified or something. That is not a real piece of evidence. That is just word of mouth. That is just something that could easily be lied. And judging by how many people lie these days, Yeah, that is not something you want to be proud of. Like, and the sad fact is, allegations get made all the time, and people believe them even if the evidence provided is just word of mouth. That is the sad fact about a lot of allegations anymore. Like, but I think I've went on that entire tangent for way too long now. Like, but yeah, here's another thing. I do not think Justin Bieber is all that good of a person as people claim he is. Like, sure, I get the trauma he went through in his life is bad, but he chose to not get the help he needed for that stuff, and he chose to be an arrogant, egotistical scumbag afterwards. Like, he still chose to do that. He chose not to get help. He chose to be an egotistical scumbag. Like, I don't care. He still chose to be that kind of person. I don't care what kind of trauma you went through in your life. If you still choose to be an egotistical scumbag afterward, yeah, I ain't gonna even feel any ounce of sympathy for you. You're just gonna be an egotistical scumbag to everybody, just like Justin was. Like, I don't care what trauma he went through. He still chose to be an egotistical scumbag, regardless. Like, and honestly, I get male victims should be, held to the same standard as female victims, but still, he still chose not to get help, and he still chose, like, and the kind of help I mean is like therapy or whatever. He still chose not to get therapy or whatever, and he still chose to be an egotistical scumbag. I don't care if that gets me hate for saying that. He still chose to be a horrible person afterwards. Being through trauma just doesn't change the fact you are an egotistical scumbag. Like, that doesn't change that fact. Like, I don't care what kind of trauma you went through in life. Being an egotistical scumbag about it doesn't deserve you sympathy. Like, it just shows that you refuse to grow as a person at that point. That just shows that you refuse to grow as a person and just choose to be the worst person the worst person afterward. Like, I don't care what kind of trauma you went through. If you still choose to be an egotistical scumbag, yeah, I'm not gonna feel sympathy for you. I don't care if that gets me hate. If you choose to be an egotistical scumbag, I won't feel sympathy for you, regardless of what you've been through in life. Like, I don't care if that gets me hate. I don't care. Like, who you are as a person shouldn't, whatever past you have shouldn't change who you are as a person. Like, in your current state, that shouldn't change who you are currently as a person. I don't care what happened in your past. That doesn't change who you are as a person still. And the fact people try and say, oh, I went through all this trauma in my past to just gain sympathy points, yeah, I don't care. Boo-hoo, cry about it. Like, I know that, that kind of trauma is bad and all, but he still chose to be horrible afterwards. I'm gonna turn off my mic real quick. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, I don't feel sympathy for people who still choose to be a terrible person, even after they've experienced trauma. I don't care who you are. Like,
I can't
You can
believe the
still
High
choose
Council
to be a
made you
good
an
person
elder.
and
I
be the
was
bigger
supposed to be
person,
next.
regardless
You're
of
no
what trauma
high
you've been
goblin,
through.
Gundahar. This is madness.
Who do you think gave you those weapons? And suits you're wearing?
My ancestors built these machines, not yours.
Ah! You waited in the shadows for 2 centuries. The only reason the High Goblins will have revenge on the humans is me. Get ready. Here it comes.
Fire!
Okay, here's a boss. Wait, I think the next fight, boss fight. Wait, I'm almost halfway through the game already. That's shocking. Like, there's reminder in the first game, in my playthrough of that, I mentioned that there was 14 chapters, and I'm almost halfway through the game now because I'm in chapter 6. I'm in the tail end of chapter 6, meaning I'm almost halfway through the game already. That's kind of shocking. Wait, what am I supposed to do here? Wait, am I supposed to go through here or something? Yeah, I think I'm supposed to avoid those. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid these guys because, well, judging by how the last playthrough went, yeah, that's not gonna end good for me if I get spotted. Yeah, that's clearly not gonna end good. So I'm gonna try and head a different path. I'm gonna try and head down that bottom path, because that seems like the most safe. Because, you know, obvious reasons. Okay. At least I made it this far already. So, I guess I gotta avoid the sight of those enemies if I gotta go through again. So, I guess the tanks are back in this game. And mind you, I hated the tanks in the first game. But with the regen feature, that should make the tanks way more easy to deal with than the first game. Considering, you know, obvious reasons. But yeah, I hope y'all are enjoying the series so far, even with my obviously poor gameplay anymore. I hope y'all enjoy it either way. Like, I'm trying my best here though. Like, I may not be the best, but at least I'm not the worst. But maybe you guys should try and see, like, if, like, how well I do in, like, fighting games or whatever. Like, sure, I'm not the best at those, but I'm also not the worst either. Like, but I can admit, I am far better at fighting games than what I am other genres. I can admit that part. Wait, what am I supposed to do here? Wait, I think I can move it. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. Now that I think about it. And also, I am so sick and tired of people, trying to say, oh, you have no right to complain on somebody getting views. Like, and mind you, this is all from personal experience. I am so sick and tired of people saying, oh, you shouldn't have any right to complain on, somebody getting, views or whatever. I don't care if my videos do well. I don't care. I don't give a crap about that. But if they're out here cheating the algorithm just because of something, like using their body or whatever for cheap likes and views or whatever, yeah, that doesn't change anything. I should have, like that should, that crap's affecting other content creators. That's affecting not just me, but other content creators as well. I don't care. I don't care how much you like that specific content creator. If they're cheating the system, then yeah, I should have every right to be mad at that. It's not just affecting me, but it's affecting other content creators. Like I shouldn't. Like, I don't care if my videos do well or not. I don't care about that fact. But if they're out here cheating the algorithm and stuff, yeah, I should have some sort of right to be angry at that. Because it's not just cheating me out of views, it's cheating other content creators out of views as well. Because I've seen a lot of smaller content creators, like, basically get cheated out of views because the algorithm favors the more bigger creators. And also the people who use their body and stuff just for cheap likes and views. Like, I get it. There are a lot of bigger content creators out there who deserve their popularity. I mean, come on. Look at Markiplier or PewDiePie or whatever, for example. Or GameTM. Or content creators like that. They deserve their popularity. But creators like Monk create the most cringe content I have ever seen, where I bet it's genuine, I bet it's so cringe that it has genuinely cringed people so hard that they put a bullet in their skull. That's how bad I bet it cringed some people out. And also, she's just exploiting her body for cheap likes and views. And somehow she's claiming to be Christian whenever she's using her body for likes and views. If that doesn't scream lust, then what would? Which, mind you, lust is literally one of the 7 deadly sins. That is not a Christian thing to be doing. I don't care. If you're just using your body, for likes and views or whatever, or for attention or whatever, I don't care what reason it is, or what way you're using your body. If you're still using your body and just for attention, that counts as lust. And guess what Brooke Monk is doing? Using her body for likes and views and attention. Because just pay attention to the kind of clothes she wears throughout every single one of her posts. Yeah, really skimpy and revealing, if you think about it for more than 2 seconds and use more than half a brain cell. I don't care if that part gets me hate. She's still using her body for attention, which counts as lust. I don't care if that part gets me hate. You shouldn't be excused just because you look attractive. I don't care if that part gets me hate. If you're attractive, you can still gain, popularity through any other means. I mean, come on. There were a lot of unattractive people that I knew in school. That were relatively unattractive, and yet they were still relatively popular.
Going down.
I mean, come on, there were a lot of fat kids I knew in school. There were a lot of fat kids I knew in school. Like, you know, queso sized. No offense to queso there, but still. Like, there were a lot of people as big as him,
Just a moment,
you know, in weight,
Catch me here.
that were still relatively popular.
Hello, Knack.
Gundahar.
The one
Like, and that should be enough proof right
I thought
there
I took care
that
of you
you
a
don't need to
long
be
time
attractive to be
ago.
popular.
Thinking never was your strong suit, Knack.
And
Prepare to meet your
that's
doom.
my main problem with that. People just abuse, like, use and abuse their bodies for
It will be
attention.
mine.
That's my main problem with that. Like, that's the problem I have with that entire thing. It's that regardless of what, in what condition you use your body in, if you're still using it for attention, you are still just using it in every wrong way possible. Like, you can still be entertaining and not use your body in that way. Like, I don't care. Like, and that's my main problem with a lot of, you know, these female content creators anymore, is that they use their bodies to try and gain more attention and relevancy. That's my main problem with that. Like, sure, there are a lot of female content creators who are, you know, entertaining, but there are also just as many that use their body, you know, for cheap attention. Like, and that's my main problem with that. I don't care. You are worth more than your looks. Like, that's my main issue with that kind of stuff. It's that you can be worth more than your looks. And whatever. That's my main problem there. It's just that people like to use their bodies in every incorrect way possible. But also, I'm gonna try and go live on Twitch later to say, oh, all these obvious favorites of Twitch. I'm going live on Twitch later to say they should be deplatformed, and if I get banned, that proves that Twitch has a favoritism issue. Like, I'm not gonna say anything past that they should be deplatformed. I'm not gonna say anything past that. Again, if I somehow get banned on Twitch, personally, I don't care if I get banned on Twitch, because I never use my Twitch account. I never stream on there anyways. Like, I mostly do all my content creation on YouTube. And that's why I'm only doing it on Twitch. Because that account is relatively pointless to me. Like, that's the main reason why I'm gonna do it on Twitch.
The real fight starts now.
That account is relatively worthless to me because of how little I stream on there anyways.
Prepare to die.
Like, and that's the reason I'm gonna try and, you know, call out those creators and say that they should be platformed to help prove that Twitch has favoritism issue on top, you know, of that account being worthless to me anyways. And the creators I'm gonna be doing that for is Rogan, Hassan, Denims, Pokimane, Amaranth, you know, creators like that. The obvious favorites of Twitch. Like, and I'm just gonna be basically saying, oh, they should be deplatformed. That's all. And I'm gonna do it one by one.
Wherever you are, Gandhar.
That's
I'm coming
literally
for
all
you.
I'm gonna be doing. And the results will be posted in my community tab on YouTube.
Elders, compose
If I get banned, then yeah,
Lothari's defeat
Twitch has a
changes
favoritism issue.
nothing.
If I don't, then yeah, it doesn't.
There you are. How have you been?
Better since I met my new friends and realized I could help them with their human problem.
How? Murder and mayhem?
Well, as it turns out, the control center only needed a little work before the ancient weapons could be activated.
So it was you. The weapons. The museum. That artifact. What's your game, Gandhar?
The artifact.
Yeah,
If I
like
told
the main
you about
thing
that,
that I
it would
have is
spoil
that
the surprise.
Gandhar wasn't even the main villain of
But
the
rest
game,
assured, you do not
if
want
I'm
me to
remembering
have it.
correctly.
For once, I agree with you. This ends now.
The thing is, he was set up for like half the game to be the main villain, and yet
Oh,
And
you
yet,
didn't
he
actually
wasn't even
think
the
I
main
was
villain
here,
in
did
the
you,
end.
Knack? That would be foolish. If you really want me, come find me at the control center.
Like, that's
Wherever
the main
that
problem I
is.
have with this game.
Where is he?
That is indeed the question.
If you think about it, both the
Gandhar
humans
is at the
and the
control
goblins are
center?
pretty racist
Yeah.
towards each other
And he said we don't
on
want him
both
to have
ends.
this thing.
He's not a high goblin. I'm sure we can defeat him. Xander and I will mobilize.
Ava, you have no
Okay,
idea what this
what
ruthless
difference
creature
does
is
being a
capable
high
of.
goblin
If he's already armed
make?
himself with the
Like,
ancient
what
weapons,
difference is there
Imagine if he
between
got
a
a hold
high
of the
goblin and a
Titans.
regular goblin
How
goblin
bad are
besides the
these
face
guys?
paint?
You know the robots you've been fighting? Yeah.
I literally
They're
have
like
seen
that,
no
except
difference between either,
Huger.
I'm sure Knack can handle them.
you know,
Did I
besides
mention they were
technology.
huger? Maybe we should go take a look.
We should secure any inactive weapons
Like,
before
I've
Gandhar
literally
reaches them.
seen no
Ryder.
difference,
Say no more.
like any
You want
noticeable
Titans,
difference
I know exactly
besides
where they
face
are.
paint.
Ava, take a squad with you.
Like, what
Lucas,
strength implements
while
do they
you're out
have?
with Ryder,
What
isn't it about
what
time you
makes
let
them
an
more
expert
powerful?
look at
What
that
makes high
artifact?
goblins more dangerous and more powerful than regular
If you
goblins?
please.
Honestly, there has been nothing to
I'm
say
glad
that
to
they're
see you're
more
finally
dangerous
taking this
than regular
seriously.
goblins.
Take this seriously. You know what? You're right. I should absolutely take this more seriously. Here you go, Xander. I think you're just the expert we need. Let's go.
God, I hate Lucas. I really hate that kid. Oh my God, he's so
There it is,
annoying.
where Marius defeated
He
the High
easily
Goblins
makes
and
some of
ended
the
Crystal
worst
Wars.
decisions possible.
And there are the Titans.
Like, in some of the most
You weren't
obviously
kidding,
bad
Ryder.
decisions.
They're huge.
At least there aren't any goblins around.
Let's keep it that way.
My thoughts exactly. Hail. Once we're on the
And
floor
that's
of the
the
site,
main
let's
reason
spread
why
out and
I
secure the
cannot
area.
stand that kid. Oh,
See you on the
God.
far side, Ava.
Well, I'm gonna end today's
Hello.
video here.
Welcome
Be
to
sure
the
to like and
excavation
subscribe.
site.
I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.